What's up, guys? It's Lugo back with Flex Appeal episode 75. This is week 13, day two of our strength block. Today on the menu was a 1 by 4 with 286 or 130 kilos, and back downs a 2 by 4 with 253 pounds or 115 kilos. I kind of took a little bit bigger jumps in warm ups as I feel like I should start getting used to it because I'm already getting a lot stronger. So I just need to be taking bigger jumps, you know. So I went a plate quarter, two plates quarter, which is the biggest jump I've taken, and then two plates like 35 in terms of weight. And it moved pretty good, you know. Like I felt like I smoked this top set. Didn't come in feeling like super well rested, didn't get that much sleep. You know, I obviously got in on my meals, my water, my hydration, you know, but the sleep was a little bit lackluster and I was a little bit dragging into the session. But as soon as I stepped in that gym, my mentality switched, and it's how it's been switching for I think as long as I've been back in the gym, where it's like as soon as I step into this gym, I don't care how I feel. I don't care if I'm tired, as long as I'm able, my body is able, my mind can also be able. I will have to take it there to succeed, you know, like, and I think that that's something that has helped me greatly, where it's like I'm not going to let my mind defeat me in here, you know. I'm going to do everything that I can. I'm going to smoke this session. I'm going to do everything that I possibly can to progress today, you know, and obviously barring injury, you shouldn't take it that far, you know, but as long as stuff isn't hurting, you know, what you can do on the day is all that you can do, you know, and that's something that I think I talked about in a few videos ago, where it's like you come into the gym, you're not feeling good, all right, you're gonna give up and you're gonna be like, man, it just feels so heavy, everything feels so heavy, it feels so bad, why am I so weak? Am I doing something wrong? You know, all these thoughts in your head. But what you're not thinking, what you fail to think is, okay, this feels heavy. What can I do to get better on this day? How can I make this exercise harder to get the most out of the weight that I can do today? How much can I do this weight for today? You know, if I normally do two plates and a quarter on this machine, let's say, and I do it for eight, two plates and a 10 is hard. All right, I'm gonna do that shit tempo paused, and I'm gonna do, you know, 10 reps, whatever it is, you know, stuff that will modify it, because in my opinion, this is not a fact. I'm not saying, I'm not a science-based lifter, I guess, and this is not based in any evidence. But if you can, I feel like if you can match the stimulus of what you did last week, let's say if it was more weight, more reps, if you can match that stimulus with a lower weight and lower reps, I believe that you, again, not based in science, I have to preface this because you can take this out of context. I believe that you can get the same results, you know, because progression is not linear, and it won't always be linear, and you're not always going to be at your strongest, you're not always going to be able to, you know, be at the peak constantly progressing. But I feel like if you can at least challenge yourself to a high degree and keep your mechanical tension high regardless of the weight, over time you will still progress, obviously barring that you're an extremely advanced lifter where you have to super periodize your training to get any little muscle gain, obviously being natural and stuff. um, but this is kind of the mentality I always try to take, you know, because in the last week I had some sessions where I was like, oh fuck, I come in minus reps, minus weight, and I had to check myself. You know, I had to check myself because I got into a really negative mind state where it's like, man, everything feels heavy. I'm gonna try to force it, and then I get half the reps, maybe if that, you know, and I'm just like, all right, I just need to check. I need to go down, and I just need to do try to match the reps and still get a really good stimulus. And just really, especially for hypertrophy, you know, just like tempo a little bit, you know, maybe a pause. But really, just try to get your muscles firing. You know, not like a pseudo pump workout, because you know doing 10 to 15 reps I think is, it has its place for certain things, but I think in general you can just try to match that heavy weight with lighter weight, but still push really hard, and it'll be good. But moving away from mentality, wrapping up this workout, it was my thoughts today. I felt strong. Core was very strong. Legs felt extremely strong. Um, Feeling very confident in my squat position. I've strung together a lot of good squat training in the volume block, and I feel like I'm definitely start to reap the rewards of having good position and being able to build on that, and hoping that I can take it where I want to take it by the end of this block. Because I'm not using knee sleeves or a belt soon because they don't fit me. So I'm just going to finish this block out using just no belt, no sleeves, and then when the next block starts, if I'm lost enough weight, I will probably put my belt and sleeves on, especially during like my volume blocks to really start to push it. And I think we'll see another big jump from this block to the next if I hit what I want to hit at the end of this block. Um, and it's the same thing with deadlift. I'm kind of a little bit conflicted because my position suffers a little bit sometimes when I use a belt, but that's in the future. We'll see about that. But that's pretty much in the video, guys. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribe. If you thought I was babbling, tell me that I'm just rambling. I'm a dumbass. If you liked the video, leave something positive to say. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for deadlifts. Thanks for watching.